Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. With me is Shail Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. The markets are back in a buoyant zone. 23,340 right now on the Nifty. There's a comfortable 80-point gain, and the Nifty Bank is also inching higher now, 1/10% higher. All the sectors on the Nifty are now into the green with sharp moves that can be seen on the oil and gas space. The index is up by 1.5%. You have the realty space that's up and about 1.3% higher. Broader markets are doing well. Over 1% uptick now can be seen on the mid-cap space, autos, infrastructure, metals, IT. The entire space seems to be in the thick of space. The top movers on the Nifty include stocks like ONGC, that's now up 5.5% higher. L&T, Adani Ports, Maruti, Britannia, Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors. So the auto space is definitely inching higher, and the PSU stocks are also doing well. The PSE index is up by 1.6%, and what's down in trade is only the India VIX, now down 9.5% at 14.8. Good afternoon, Shail.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Sakshi, very well said. The one thing that I want to banish from my life and see in single digits is India VIX once again. Remember, all through May, this index has troubled us no end, and I'm so happy to see it's back. Apart from what you've mentioned, it's actually a very nice day, and the themes are working very well. Look at railway stocks. Continuity as far as policy is concerned from the government of India's stable of cabinet ministers is reflecting very well on the market, although the Nifty is range bound, but again we saw a fresh high of almost 23,400, selling pressure coming in again from the same level as we had seen yesterday. No problems at all, but railways, look at Railtel, look at IRCON, look at IRCT, IRFC, RVNL, all of them up between 3.5%, 4%, and that too on substantial volumes. In fact, Sakshi, we track 22 railway stocks. Out of 22, just one is in the red, and that's almost irrelevant there, but very, very strong gains. Railtel is up 11%, 425, IRCON 8% higher, and there is absolutely no stopping the two wagon makers. Texrail 7.5% higher, Jupiter Wagon 6% higher. RVNL, of course, driven by very substantial news over the last 7-8 days, series of order wins totaling somewhere like 2,000 crores over the last 5-7 days, up at 390, 4.5% higher. Rights we had marked in the morning, IRCON, IRCTC and Container Corporation, all doing fantastically well. And one theme that was Sakshi missing, the sweetness that the market was looking at record highs, is now back in the market. Look at sugar stocks. Bajaj Hindustan is the top gainer, 8.7% higher, 36.13. You have a strong move coming into Uttam Sugars, 5.7% higher, 342. Triveni, 6.4% higher, 361. And of course, Dhampur, Balrampur and Magad Sugars, all up between 2% to 4%. Very, very strong move in this undervalued, agri-focused and under-owned sector as far as the markets was concerned. If fertilizer was a broad theme yesterday, it's sugar all the way now. So Chakri Lokpriya now joins us, managing partner, Red Strawberry LLP. Good morning to you, Chakri. Good afternoon to you, Chakri, and a very warm welcome. We haven't been in conversation for a while, and not much has changed in India, yet everything is different and is on a better shade of green. How do you see market sentiment now?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Yes, it's nice to be discussing on a day when the markets are moving in the right direction. And I think that's because, the policy at least will remain unchanged, because the allies, important allies like TDP, they also share a similar passion for growth, economic development that Modi does. So to the existing set of mix of industrials, railways, defense, infrastructure, affordable housing has also become an important area of growth. So companies like PNB Housing, HUDCO, and Repco Home Finance, I think all these companies are to begin with extremely well valued. Repco trades only at about 0.8 times book. PNB Housing, very similar valuations. So these companies can see very significant upside, and of course, the industrials and infrastructure too.
Okay, wonderful to have you with us, Chakri. Thank God we are talking on this Tuesday and not on the last Tuesday when the smiles of most people were actually missing. But I want to ask you, what did you buy on last Tuesday? Where did you invest in that dip?
In the last year, Tuesday, I think we added some of the power financiers as well as some of the battery companies for the simple reason that we said, whoever comes to power, utilities as an area is anyway in big demand because it's a power shortage country, etc. So, with the continued thrust, luckily, I think, power financing will do well. EV companies, now battery companies, you take Amara Raja or Excite, their uses are right across consumer to industrial to telecom and not existing batteries, but also a lot of development work that's happening in the EV space. So I think, companies like this are really well positioned for the now and for the future.
Okay, so power financiers, EV, battery-focused companies is what you had, taken an opportunity to take an entry. But since you took the name of Amara Raja, there's this entire bunch of all those Andhra Pradesh-related stocks that, went from nothing to about creating crores of rupees for TDP chief as well. And the entire theme is back in action within the Andhra focus. Are you buying into this theme, or is this just momentary?
It's not momentary, and if you look at Amaraja, it's not. It's the one of the largest players, two largest players in India in the battery space, and they're spending over $1 billion in the EV space in development of EV-related batteries and storage, and the company before this run up was trading at about 11 times PE. After the run up, still trading at about only 13, 14 times PE. Very inexpensive stock, market leader, and therefore, huge run-up of potential still exists in the stock.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 50 minutes left for this market to settle down on this, Tuesday afternoon. Let's just do a small detour. We have a flat trade on the Nifty Bank. It's also the Fin Nifty's weekly expiry today. Nothing much happening there, but Sakshi, stocks like Polycab, you and I have discussed this stock just 3 months ago at 33.50, and would you believe it, the price is now 7,000 rupees. Absolutely no let up. I think जैसे रोटी कपड़ा और मकान है ना, वैसे people have taken this buy the dip philosophy a little bit more seriously, and you see this absolute burst of price coming in on Polycab, a new number settling in now, almost 7,000. What else is doing well? It's the entire Kirloskar group back. Kirloskar Engineering, better known as KOEL. Kirloskar Brothers is doing very well, 2.8% higher, 1875. And of course, you have a strong move coming in on Kirloskar Electric. So these are themes that are running brightly. Indices might not be doing much, but the broader index, NSE 500, has a lot of winners today. Let's look at Varroc Engineering. This is an auto ancillary, 9% higher. And Sakshi, the volume is 17 times the 5-day average of 75 lakhs. Very, very strong move coming into Varroc. And then, of course, we have a series of home finance companies such as Home First and Aawas Financiers, up 7 and 6% respectively. Again, huge volumes, 6 and 9 times. We've discussed IRB Infra a lot. You've mentioned Honasa. Again, the entire telecom space is above. Tejas Networks still 6% higher. MTNL 9% higher. Idea Cellular 3% higher. Indus Stars all up in this enthusiastic day when new telecom minister has taken charge. And of course, Canis Technologies 11% higher, 37.44. And now Sri Renuka Sugars, India's largest sugar MNC, is 5% higher at 45 rupees. So a lot of buzz happening in sectors, a lot of buzz happening in individual stocks, and of course the brighter markets are cheery. Sakshi.
Absolutely. So this entire different basket of stocks that are moving up in tandem. Chakri, let's ask you to start by telling us your own view on the entire affordable housing space. Where exactly are you going to be keeping your focus now that the government has given green light on that 3 crore additional households to be built? Will it be a better play through the housing financiers, like you said, like Repco you were talking about, or will it also be a great way to participate via, say, a cement maker, metals, or maybe the construction makers like HCC, which are rallying in trade, NBCC? How are you really playing this theme?
Sakshi, I think that's a very good question. I think the easiest and the fastest way is through the financing companies. Companies like HCC, yes, clearly you would buy them for also the infra spend reasons. Now, if you look at the home financiers, given the whole trust and also with upcoming state elections, do want to increase spread. And against this backdrop, luckily, housing finance companies, if you take PNB Housing or you take Repco Finance or you take HUDCO, the valuations of these companies going before this rally has started are very attractively priced. Repco trades only at about 0.75 times book value. They've had some balance sheet issues in the past. They've rectified it. And, they're well positioned, therefore, to grab the growth that is going to come their way. And the same story applies to PNB Housing, similar story that will benefit, and HUDCO, of course, is a clear beneficiary. So all these companies could be very easily going up another 30-40% very easily over the next few months.
Okay, got that. So that's entire housing finance being, and the other one that's really doing all the buzz today is the entire railway space back in action all across the bay, space, be it the wagon makers, be it the frontline stocks, the ticketing majors. How are you really looking at this fresh momentum? Still, do you think there is enough and more opportunity for a fresh investor to take a bet in the railway space?
One of the good things that has happened in the sense that, there is a continuity and in the railway space. So all these public sector companies, public sector railway companies will continue their path of, securing orders, executing orders. And that wouldn't have been possible if there was a change in ministry. Now that positive is a very significant thing that they do not lose. Business momentum is now on their side. They're continuing to get orders. So I think Texmaco still looks very good at the current prices. RVNL, it's going to be providing all the construction services for the entire rail pack. So I think, so the number of companies still are looking very good.
Okay. What's also buzzing in markets, Sakshi, today is the bus makers and commercial vehicle makers. We'll start with the biggest one of them all, Tata Motors. The counter is roughly 3.3% higher, and this is now again heading back to 4 digits, almost 999 in cash, 992 in cash. The all-time high was, of course, somewhere like 1065. This was in early March. You have Ashok Leyland doing very well. The counter at 236 is almost at a fresh record high. Yes, this is the highest level since 3rd of June. My apologies. This is yes, 3rd of June. So that's doing pretty well. And of course, cash counters like Electra Green, which make electrical buses, 1834. This is way off its all-time high of 2200, but very strong momentum seen in the commercial vehicle space. Apart from that, auto is abuzz with gains. You have escorts in the F&O space doing 2.5% higher, with 2% rise in open interest. Bosch, something that we discuss a lot, is the top gainer in the F&O space, 3% higher. And of course, you have Exide Industries, 1.4% higher. Mobility and electrical mobility is something that finds mention in Chakri's thought process also. You've discussed Amara Raja mobility. In the four-wheeler, two-wheeler, commercial space, Chakri, would you have a favorite?
Yeah, indeed. I think this as a theme is going to continue, and also one of the biggest job creators. So politically, also they are very important, given that a number of state elections that are coming up. Against this backdrop, I think clearly, the commercial vehicle space, you can clearly buy Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, and if you look at some of the sales in May were kind of slow. That is just a temporary blip, but I think the overall volumes are just bound to pick up. So I think Ashok Leyland we will still buy, Tata Motors will buy, Hero Motors also we will buy.
Okay. Sakshi, anything that's coming up on your radar? I think UPL we should discuss. This is an early morning stock that was mentioned by Dharmeshji as one of his picks. And would you believe it? It's now climbing above its 200-day moving average, Sakshi. And the last time it was above its 200-day moving average, it was May of 2023. So an 11-month kind of a pain point is now exiting the stock, and at 557, its highest since January of 2024. Chakri, in the agrochemical space, fertilizer space, anything that catches your fancy?
Fertilizers as space, I guess, will increasingly become important. UPL on one hand is a very inexpensive stock and is probably trades about 8-9 times. They've had a number of earnings delivery issues, orders getting delayed, balance sheets. While the leverage is high, I think that can clearly be managed. As long as it's a global company, demands will come back. But I think companies in that fertilizer farm, in the whole farm space, for instance, fishery companies, those companies also like Avanti Feeds, these companies will all benefit fast up, and fertilizers will take a little bit more time.
Okay, fertilizers will take a little bit more time. How about the oil and gas space, Chakri? How are you really looking at the entire space? Of course, we've seen enough and more action within the upstream companies. Oil India, ONGC, they are back in action again in trade today. We still do not have any clarity as to what will happen on the petrol and diesel prices front now that the election is behind us. No clear indication from the government yet as to will they be moving forward with the price hikes going forward. But how are you looking at this entire space? And even the gas space is buzzing.
Indeed, the gas price is a little bit more complicated in terms of what will be the pricing, what will be the taxation, and therefore the impact on the company. So that I a little bit stay away from. But on the other hand, an ONGC, Oil India, are far more easier investment simply because the valuations are clearly on their side. There is a huge amount of government's push on exploration as well as in refining. And this was something which was initiated prior to the election. And I think that will obviously continue now after the election, and now they have a clear path ahead of them. It would be rather ONGC and Oil India at currently.
Okay. Let's again look at what else is buzzing on the markets right now. Well, yes, something that Shell, you also highlighted, the sugar space, and there is this entire buzz again of ethanol blending targets now to be coming back as far as the government is concerned. So sugar space, Chakri, are you a fan or would you rather stay away? How do you look at this story?
I agree with Shell that, that as a space will do well. Reduca is one of the largest, probably the largest in that space, and it's got valuation on it. But being aware that, the political considerations and pricing do play a role, but yeah, definitely worth a look.
What's really interesting, Sakshi, if you look at this sugar space, there are so many stocks trading at single-digit PE. There are so many stocks that are trading, 30, 35, 40% off their all-time highs. and some of them are actually at near 52-week lows. So in a market, which is at record highs, there is one sector that has been completely ignored. Given the focus that we have on agriculture now, a new minister takes charge in the form of Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. You have rural distress. You have, farmers to be paid and taken care of. And more importantly, you have 3 state elections, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, to some extent even Delhi. So this is a theme that will resonate, especially Maharashtra. While UP might be the biggest producer of sugarcane, but Maharashtra has the maximum number of sugar mills. And we all know this is a space that has had trying times. So sugar, like I mentioned, we track 32 sugar stocks. Let me just get this number right. Okay. Yes, we track 22 sugar stocks out of 36. That makes sense. And would you believe it? 21 are in the green. The only stock that is not in the green is EID Perry, which is already at a record high. That has a lot of holding company discount. It has other, businesses such as sanitary ware that is already at a record high. But all I'm trying to say is that it's a secular move that is coming in, and deep undervaluation. Plus, you mentioned this tadka of the ethanol blending. So, and apart from that, 2 other stocks. Look at Praj Industries. Look at Isjek. Both of them are sugar ancillaries. They are also doing fantastically well. And what is back in focus? Hindustan Zinc. A 2% float is what this company was really banking on. It sort of paused from 22nd of May and is now again rearing its head, 702 as far as prices are concerned, and a very nice strong 7% rally on this one. Sakshi.
Okay, got that. So that's the entire move as far as the metal pack is concerned. 5.3% higher on Hindustan Zinc. Is the metal space interesting to you, Chakri? How are you looking at this entire story? Because this is just a cyclical play and also a global factor right there.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think those are the important points. Europe has just started cutting interest rates, and that's an important thing. Reduces the cost of funds for all the metal companies. And also, you are right after recession that the whole West has gone through. These are the companies that usually first benefit. Valuations are on their side. Vedanta, as a company, is looking good. There's a lot of reorganization is happening within the company. So Tata Steel, Vedanta, Hindalco are the companies that I would look at.
Okay, so that's the metal view coming in on that front as well. The other space that I wanted to discuss with you is the entire telecom space, Chakri. Of course, this entire space will be again in thick of action with the spectrum auctions now beginning June 25 as well. So, Vodafone, of course, there is this additional news flow of raising funds, but Bharti Airtel, that became the recent $100 billion market cap company in India, and apart from that, all the others like Indus Towers, Tejas Networks, something that we discussed in the morning as well. All of these stocks are back in focus. How should one be really playing the telecom move?
5G was waiting to happen, and now that the election's out of the way, I think that will be an important source of revenue for the government. And also now it comes. I think there is now a question, some amount of sanity all around on both sides, industry as well as government, and the pricing will be of the auction will be sensible enough, attractive enough for the companies, and also the companies are factoring in ARPU increase to factor in all the capex that will happen along the way. And Vodafone fundraising is clearly very important for the company. It's shown a good amount of success, and I think of course their leverage is still very high, but I think it's manageable after it's getting its balance sheet in the right direction. So I think, at the current levels, Vodafone looks good. Bharti has already done well, but probably as the market leader will do well. But I'd say Vodafone stands is more attractive. Idea.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now 33 minutes away from calling it a day on Tuesday. So far, it's been a fantastic day ahead of what has been the allocation of portfolios. Sakshi, I think another sector that is joining the rally are paper stocks. Let me see. I used to have a block on paper as well. Let me just point out the top winners today. Okay, let's look at JK paper, 3.8% higher, 435. You have a strong move coming into Andhra paper, 2.5% higher. Of course, Imami paper is up 2% as well. It's the initial days of the rally taking root. See, now the fact that the government is fully functional and newer ministers have reached their ministries, they will of course be briefed about what they are supposed to do, and the 100-day agenda is there. So anything that has to do with agri, forestry, allied agricultural ministries such as fertilizers, agrochemicals, anything that is connected to the monsoon, anything that is connected to land and growing is now making a very, very smart comeback. Even Angel One, 2689, a decent block deal of 51 crores that just happened. Sakshi, I think UPL is something that will make immense sense. We've discussed this once in the morning, twice now, and a very nice volume-led move coming into UPL as well. Chakri, getting you into the conversation, any favorites when it comes to paper stocks?
Paper is a segment which I have not really looked at for a very long time. So that is an area which I'm not very current at.
Yes, and Sakshi, see, this is what I'm trying to say. Everybody, including all equity strategists, have been so enamored with the broader market. PSU में क्या अच्छा लगता है, defense में क्या अच्छा लगता है. Here are sectors across the board which nobody has touched, and because the budget is coming, because there is a new agri minister, and because there has been a silent but very loud message that has come from the voting patterns of rural India, these are sectors and stocks that people are now brushing up within brokerages. Arey bhai, isko to hum bhool hi gaye the. The kind of sell-offs that we have seen in agri-chemical stocks is phenomenal. Pesticides, rodenticides, companies that make herbicides have collapsed between 30 and 40% from their all-time highs 18 months ago. And now volume is coming up because rains have started, and more importantly, there's a broader theme to track. Sakshi.
Absolutely right, Shell. So we will be tracking this story for at least 1 or 2 months till the time the monsoons are going to be in flavor, and of course upcoming budget will be important to track with that respect as well. Chakri, let's ask you, as far as the broader markets are concerned, mid and the small cap space, where are you finding comfort and value within the broader markets even at this stage?
Shell is absolutely right. All these sectors which were completely forgotten will come back. And they'll come back very strong, and also for all those reasons. Elections are coming up, etc. And therefore, along the same theme, construction is still a very important theme for elections. It creates lots of jobs locally. So again, you look at a company like Hindustan Construction, up very strong today. But the reason they're up today is, after a long time, they've said their balance sheet is improving, they're lowering their debt. The order book is now expanding really fast. All the things that you would like to hear companies are beginning to say. And even after like in 15% the stock is up, still the stock is very cheap on a valuation basis because it's been neglected for a long time. So you will find a lots of stocks in the infra space as well. And I think that theme will continue for the next coming months.
Okay, got that. Well, on that note, we'll thank you, Chakri, for being with us on this very special edition and sharing with us all those thoughts and ideas and various sectors and stocks that you've discussed. We will be discussing more stocks and sectors even in the run-up to the budget now, since that is the biggest trigger that the markets will be really looking forward to. And I think it is going to be interesting times over the next few weeks. So thanks a lot, Chakri. Truly appreciate your time right here. And let's go back to the big movers. It's the construction space, the real estate space that we've been discussing, and Shell has just sent a very interesting chart of HCC. So Shell, of course, 18.5% higher for this one on a single day.
And Sakshi, this is the daily chart that I have sent to you. Remember, you were talking about this early morning about a research report that has come in from a very well-known, deeply followed research house by the name Elara. They've talked about value explosion happening. Yes. And now I have again sent you the monthly chart of the same stock in our common group. You will see that nothing has happened. This stock may be up 18% today, but the price that you are seeing was last seen on November of 2010. Okay. So this is a 13-14 year breakout, and of course the all-time high on HCC is 137 rupees. I'm just saying that people are now waking up again. Just 4 days ago, this counter was at its 200 day moving average. And now, of course, it's well known that nearly 50% of India's nuclear power plants were constructed by HCC over the last 50 years. It's a part of their website, it's a part of their, proud heritage. It's just that people are now revisiting these stocks given the new government that has come in space. So this is how themes are being set, and just look at the volume on HCC today. It's breathtaking. I have seen 20 crores. So this is 24.8 crore shares of HCC are traded. The last time we saw this kind of a volume, it was in August of 2023. And the stock at that point of time was 20 bucks. So again, maybe history is being created. And let us see, but like I said, long-term triggers are coming back. I believe we are now joined by Kunal Parar, Vice President for Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking. Good afternoon to you, Kunal. 26 minutes left in trade today. Anything that catches your fancy on the long or the short side?
Well, good afternoon, Selji. Right now, few stocks are there which looks good to me. First stock is Maruti itself. Right now, Maruti is trading at 12,877, and where stock has been trading since last few days. I think it may spurt further from the present level. So we will keep SL somewhere around 12,400. We talk about target size, then first target comes at 13,300, and if you talk about final target, then final target comes at 13,850. So Maruti is first from my side, and one more counter is there. It's Adani Port. The way stock has been trading, particularly since last 9 days, and yes, particularly after this 4th of June. Right now, 1400 is the level where the stock is trading. Okay, stock has been trading above its long-term moving averages. Not only this, near to all-time trading levels also. So it's a long from my side at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 1400 level. One can go for long at present level. If we talk about support side, then 1340 would be the perfect SL for the counters. Now, if you talk about target side, then first target comes at 1445, and second target comes at 1520.
Okay, got that. We'll keep an eye out on these stocks, Kunal. But, of course, we were discussing the entire housing space before you had joined in. So, just wanted to ask you, where exactly are you keeping your focus? Is it stocks like NBCC, HCC, which have actually given double-digit returns on a single day today, coming back on the flavor that the government is again going to focus on affordable housing, so the demand could be higher? And or are you going with the construction names, the cement makers, the metal names, the ancillaries of real estate, or are you going with the housing financing space that has now garnered a lot of investors' attention?
Well, if we talk about this housing stocks and if we talk about construction stocks, then let us discuss first on housing stocks. We just came to know that Vada Pradhan Modi has just signed that file where present government is going to give some 3 crore
Yeah.
affordable houses to the families. So it will like a big boost to the economies, and particularly the stocks which are looking good to me first is NBCC, but obviously the way stock has been trading since last many days, right now stock is trading at somewhere around 156 level. Not only the stocks has already given a breakout of its inverted headed solar formations with above average volume activity. Okay, and today stock has given a breakout of its recent top as well. So based on this technical venture, it looks very good to me. Right now it is trading at 156.55. So yes, one can go for long at present level. No, though it is up by 10% in today's trading session. But yeah, it looks very good to me. Downside support comes at 145. If you talk about target size, and first target comes at 165, which would be somewhere around 6% from the present level. And if you talk about the final target, then 180 would be the final target, which again I think 14 to 15% is that this counter can we can see in this counter.
Hmm.
3.8, Sakshi. We have just 22 minutes left, and what's catching my attention? Let's look at a different sector now. Natco Pharma.
Okay.
Counters up 7.5%. A very strong block deal of a single block deal of 3.3 crore shares has just. I'm so sorry. 3.3 crore rupees has just happened. About 28,000 shares. And what's really, really interesting is that a record high is on the cards. This is the last price that we had seen, you won't believe it, in the COVID time. And when it was somewhere like 1167 in June of 2021. So a huge breakout on the cards. And why should I stick my neck out? We have Kunal. Kunal, what do you think of Natco Pharma?
Well, Selji, this stock looks very good to me because if you look at the weekly chart, stock is about to give a breakout of its corporate handle formation. Not only this, stock is near to entering into its uncharted territory. Not only this, on a daily chart, stock is about to give its pennant formation, which is like continuation formation. Activity is at like top level, okay, because it indicates that the positive momentum that we can see in north side only. So I'm not recommending right now to get into the stock for fresh buy, okay. But anyone has this stock in their portfolio, it's a whole recommendation from my side because I'm seeing good upside momentum up to the level of 1330. And not only this, if counter gives a breakout of the 1330, then we can see further upside momentum up to the level of 1440. So it's a clear long, it's a clear hold from my side rather to go for a fresh long.
Okay, so please wait it out when stocks come out of these 4-5 year old trends and they come out on heavy volumes. For instance, if you look at Natco, the price action on Natco is based on very strong volume numbers. Let me just get them for you. Natco is up 7%. Snap quote. Today's volume is about 288 crores. Please do keep an eye out on this one. And Sakshi, another PSU company up 10%, Dredging Corporation. Very untracked, unloved stock. And it's just won an order of 2,000 crore rupees. The counter is locked up 10% at 1,048.90. Is this an all-time high? I would believe it is. Just let me check. Kunal, would you also sort of take a look at Dredging Corporation? Yes, it's an all-time high that's just happened. 10% yesterday and 10% today. Kunal, do we chase or do we keep quiet?
Definitely, I'll be keep quiet only because stock just hit the upper circuit and it's been locked in upper circuit only. So I won't get any chance to get into the stock. But yes, the way stock has been trading since last many days, just enter into an uncharted territory. Not only this, it has been trading in an upper rising channel formation above all its long-term moving average. So I can expect a very good upside momentum in the counter from the present level. So anyone if has position in the stock in portfolio, please hold the stock because we can see good upside momentum from the present level. First target would be somewhere around 1260 from the present level, and if stock gives a breakout of this 1260, then further spurt would be there up to the level of 1430. So it's a clear hold signal from my side. I have to go for fresh buy in the counter.
News flow that has triggered that sharp spike on dredging corporation Shell, and that is a 2016 crore rupee order that the company has just got, and we got the news just about 3 minutes back. The company has got the order from Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port Authority, and this is a 5-year order that the company has got. So I think that is the key reason why we saw that extremely sharp spike on dredging corporation Shell.
Yes, that's the order win that I had mentioned. And Sakshi, we never talk about our own media sector, but again, Hyderabad-based company and Sun TV,
Yeah.
3.6% higher, 754. So Andhra Pradesh ka tadka, and the largest player in our sector that you could think of, 744. Let me just look at the chart. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's not right to talk about one sector, but I'm again just marking the price. You've seen this price last in August of 2018, Sakshi. So this is again a 5-6 year breakout that we are tracking on Sun TV. Fairly decent volumes, and there was this I think talk also that with the changed F&O norms coming into impact, one of the stocks that would make an exit would be Sun TV. Sakshi.
Okay. Issuance, in fact, two of them. In fact, private banks and financial services, they are looking lower. They are tracking lower in trade today, right now. And let me also look at the big contributors to this loss on the Nifty. Reliance is contributing about 25 points on the lower side. On the Nifty, Kotak Mahindra Bank, ITC, ICICI Bank, Asian Paints and Infosys, these are the top tracks as far as the Nifty contributors to the lower side is concerned. So some profits being shaved off from the high point of the day. But what continues to remain upbeat is oil and gas, realty, auto and the broader markets and infra and consumer durable space as well. Let's see the top losers on the Nifty right now. It's again the banks, Asian Paints, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, some of these big pharma companies as well. But let's ask Kunal. Kunal, how about this entire IT space? How are you really looking at that? There was some buoyancy in the last week, but then the pressure started to build up again.
Well, if you talk about overall IT sector, then particularly it looks very good to me because I think in this 2024 itself we may see a good upside momentum across all the IT stocks. If you talk about LTTS, if you talk about Infosys, TCS, or Wipro, Telecom, but if I would select few stocks, then but obviously right now I'll go with the LTTS, then Wipro. Okay, so let's talk on this LTTS first. The way stock has been trading since last many days, okay, above its 20 days moving average. Not only this, stock has also given a breakout of its double bottom formation on an hourly chart. So it looks like positive momentum on a daily chart. Right now it is trading at 4880 level. One can go for long at present level only. If you talk about SL side and downside, the strong support comes at 4700. Target would be 5015 and second target would be at 5240. Now, if we talk about second stock, which looks good to me, it's a Wipro. Right now, Wipro is trading somewhere around 475 level. Stock has already given a breakout of its breakaway gap. Okay, and the way stock has been trading, one can go for long in the stock at present level with the strict cash flow 460. If we talk about upper side momentum, then 487, 480 would be the first target, and if stock is to break out of this, then we can see good upside momentum even up to the level of 505.
Okay, so that's the IT space stocks for you. Okay, there's some kind of a trouble on my cogencies, but let me also ask you, Kunal, to give us a highlight of as to how would you see the defense movers now really going forward from here. We've again seen some momentum build up today, especially on stocks like Concor, which is still up 3% high in trade. But the big heavyweight movers like HAL, BEL, BML, how do you see them? And along with it, the shipbuilder stocks.
If we talk about defense stocks, the way stock has been trading right now, no doubt it's a clear hold signal from my side. If we talk about HL, BEML, BEL, and few shipbuilding stocks, but the first stock which you mentioned, Concor, it's buy recommendation from my side, particularly in their stock because the stock has been trading on an uptrend. And if you talk about early chart, then during today's trading session, in first half stocks give a spurt with also gives a breakout of his rainbow momentum on an early chart. So it's a clear cut buy recommendation from my side, particularly for this stock only. Right now stock is trading at 1086 level only. If we talk about SL side, then one can keep SL at 1040. Now target would be at 1120, and if stock gives a breakout of its 1120, then second target would be at 1180, which would be around 8 to 9 percentage from the present level. So yes, for Concor, one can go for get into the stock at present level, but for other stocks, please hold these stocks. We can see good upside momentum during upcoming trading session.
Okay, 12 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Sakshi, one other stock related to the rural theme I'd like to mark, Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services. It's just taken out its 200-day moving average in style, and at 291, this is one of those NBFCs that have traditionally focused on a rural play, and given the momentum that we are seeing across the market, at 291 the counters added about 40-45 rupees over the last 4-5 trading sessions. A bit of profit booking is now gathering steam. There is nothing to be worried about. A mild red tick on the Nifty, down 7 points, 23,250. Today's high was 23,400. So a 150 point slip up you've seen from the day's high, and that's primarily on account that the Nifty is now in a consolidative phase. We've seen a 720 point rally last week amid very, very heavy volatility, 3.3% uptick on the Nifty. That's getting absorbed. The Bank Nifty is about 100 points lower, and what's really interesting is that today's high was just 50,000. So from 50,000 to 49,680 is a 320 point cut. In terms of laggards and gainers, as far as the Nifty is concerned, it's a day when Reliance and two major banks, ICICI and Kotak, pulled down the Nifty to the tune of about 46 points. There is Infosys pulling the Nifty down by 4, and ITC amongst the top 5 point losers, 9 point down. What is helping the index? ONGC, 14 points. Sakshi read out a research report early morning pointing to relative undervaluation of ONGC in relation to its previous price. The counters, the top gainer as far as the Nifty is concerned, 5% higher. L&T contributing 15 points, M&M, Tata Motors and Maruti. So it's the auto space that's helping the Nifty on its way up. And of course, now Sakshi, we have some mild profit booking happening in defense space. You see early morning gainers now sort of slipping from intraday highs. Masgao Dow 31.95, the high was 32.94, so down about 100 rupees. Garden Reach at about 13.30 is in the green, but the high was 13.86. You have BDL, the high was 14.58, the counter at 14.22, still in the green. Cochin has shipped in the red. BEL, this is at 286, the high was 290, and of course Hindustan Aeronautics 48.57, the high was 49.22. So that's how it is, a bit of a profit booking coming in towards the fag end of the play. The Nifty almost at its day's low. Sakshi.
Absolutely. A good time, 3:22, to ask Kunal if he has any BTST, STBT trades that he can share with us and our viewers. Kunal, anything on your top radar?
Well, yes, one stock is there which looks good to me, particularly on daily chart. The way stock has been trading in the last few days. Okay, stock's name is M&M Finance. Selji already discussed on the stocks, but I think one can go for BTST in these stocks right now. It is trading somewhere around 291. If we talk about SL, right, then 284 would be the perfect SL in the counters. Target wise, 297 would be the first target, and if stocks use a breakout of this 297, then 305 would be there in the counter. So BTST would be for this M&M Finance with strict SL of 284 for a target of 297 to 305.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in on the stock as far as the BTST trades are concerned. Let's also look at some of the other big movers. So half of the market has actually turned lower when we talk about the sectors. The other half is still holding up into the green. The broader markets, let's see if there is anything interesting that we can point out, and maybe Kunal can give his view right there. Nothing that we have not discussed as of yet on this space as well. All right, consumer space. Let's discuss the entire consumption theme with you, Kunal, that we haven't yet touched. Of course, you can include the agri-chemical space in that, and fertilizers too, because of rural recovery. How are you really looking at the theme right now? Where do you see promise building up? Is it the staples? Is it going to be the other ancillaries? Where are you keeping your focus in the consumption basket?
Well, overall consumption basket looks very good, particularly the way IMD gave its prediction, particularly on the monsoon sides. What they said that this year, particularly monsoon, would be above its long-term moving average of 104. Okay, so overall consumption pack looks very good, and based on this assumption, only on 4th June and afterwards, we witness a very good upside momentum, particularly in FMCG counters. Not only, we will also see some good upside momentum, particularly in fertilizers counters and few auto sectors like M&M for a tractor side, and Hero Motocorp and Bajaj Auto for a two-wheeler side. So particularly, if we look at the few stocks, then at present level, Dabur looks very good to me. The way stock has been trading since last many days, stock has given a breakout of its recent top as well. Not only this, stock has been, stock is trading near to its all-time high, and if once it enter into an uncharted territory, we can see a good upside momentum for more than 10 to 12%. Okay, so one can go for long in Dabur at present level 613. Right now, stock is trading at this level. If we talk about SL side, then downside SL comes at 580. Okay, so 50 would be the strict SL. Now, if we talk about target side, then 640 would be the first target. Not only this, if stock gives a breakout of its 640, then 680 would be there, which I think again 10 to 11% is a momentum that we can witness in the counters during upcoming trading session. Now, apart from this, one more stock looks very good to me. It's M&M because of its recent sell and the way IMD predicts overall monsoon side. So right now, stock is trading at 2826 level. One can go for long at M&M at 2826 level. Not only this, if we talk about SL side, then downside SL would be at 2600. Overall target comes at first target 3000. In if stocks gives a breakout of this 3000, then we can see a very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 3300. So 15 to 16% again we can expect in this counter during upcoming trading session.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there is just 4 minutes left for this market to close. And Sakshi, it's a very labored kind of a last 2 or 3 minutes in trade. We'll just point out the winners. Surprise, surprise, there's a new telecom minister taking charge, Mr. Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia. And the top gainer in the PSU pack is MTNL, 11% higher, 42. You'd mentioned the impending spectrum auction. Let us see how MTNL fares, and MTNL is not alone. The entire telecom equipment space, telecom service providers are also enjoying the bounce. NBCC, 3 crore new homes, ladies and gentlemen. This is a government contractor which is 10% higher at about 157.39. You have Dredging Corporation, which is an order win of about 2,000 crores. That's doing well. And then there is this host of counters from the PSU railway space. IRCON 8% higher, RVNL 4% higher. You have RITES, which is moving 2.8% higher, and of course the IRCTC and Container Corporation doing very well already. Apart from what we've seen in the PSU pack, the winners are auto ancillaries in the NSE 500 zone. You've seen a very strong move coming into Varroc Engineering. The counter was up 10% in early deals. You have the sugar space, Triveni Engineering 9% higher, 370. Business Today tracks 23 sugar companies, 22 in the green for you. And of course, no stopping housing finance. Home First, you have this recently listed company 7% higher. Aawas Housing Finances are 7.1% higher, 1854. And of course, you have a very strong breakout coming into Wagon Makers, Jupiter Wagons, TexRate, and a very well-known pharma, mid-cap pharma company, Natco Pharma, 6.35% higher. In terms of all-time highs, Bikaji Foods, 698. You have Glaxo Pharma, 2658. Escorts, 2% higher. Endurance Technologies, another auto ancillary, 1% higher. Ultratech, Hero Motors, and of course Ashok Leyland and Tejas Networks also at fresh peaks. Sakshi.
Right. Well, with that, thank you so much, Kunal, for being with us on this special edition. We'll start wrapping up the show as well now. Flattish, let's hope that the Nifty manages to eke out another few points of a gain, if at all. 23,263, just about 6 points higher. The Nifty Bank has slipped into the red, so the pressure building up from there. 0.2% lower in trade at 49,673. Clearly, the big private banks are definitely creating some pressure on the markets, especially ICICI, with that heavy weight coming in as far as the decline on the index is concerned. But what is up? It's the media stocks, 1.7% higher. The index tops the charts in among the sectors. Oil and gas follows, 1.4% higher. Real estate up by 1%. Mid caps up by 0.8%. Autos, infrastructure up by 0.5%. You have small caps that's up by 0.6%. PSU banks and IT just managing to turn flat towards the end of the session right now, just about 0.303% of gains on that one. Top movers, ONGC, Adani Ports, L&T, Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki, Apollo Hospitals. On the downside, you have Kotak Mahindra Bank, Divi's Laboratories, Asian Paints, ITC, Reliance, Dr. Reddy's and Sun Pharma as the top drags on the Nifty. F&O movers, ONGC again tops the charts, 6% higher in this space. Petronet, LNG, GMR Airports Infra, you have IRCTC and Gujarat Gas as among the other top movers in the F&O basket. On the downside, as far as the F&O movers are concerned, you have stocks like Interglobe Aviation that declined about 4%. Remember, because of that block deal. Hindustan Copper, Ramco Cements, Havells and ICICI Lombard as the top drags as far as the F&O space is concerned. With that, the screen has frozen, 23,264 on the Nifty for you, just about 5 points higher in trade. We'll leave you at that, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. Thanks from both Shell and me. But do stay tuned. The action continues even beyond the stock market hours on Business Today Television.
I think for us the role of India, the influence of India, that has been steadily growing, not just in terms of our own perception, but अगर आप देखें दूसरे देश हमारे बारे में क्या कहते हैं, उनको भी लगता है कि आज भारत जो है सचमुच उनका मित्र है. उन्होंने देखा है कि संकट के समय में कि अगर एक देश